All right, we're going to have a second go at doing this thing. This is the 1/4 inch version of that same Varma ratchet that I got, I guess, a week ago or so or whatever. And I really liked it, the 3/8 version. And I decided to get the 1/4 inch version of it as well. But we'll just get the hanging tag real quick. So it is a sealed head ratchet. They do have O-rings both in the front and rear on the head. These are made in Taiwan. And I will say I did have an issue with the first one of these that I bought through Amazon. It came and it was brand new, and it was on the tag, and the tag wasn't cut on the back to be able to get the ratchet out like I had to do here before I kind of started the video. But it had a horrible, the forge line was basically still left on the entire top half of the ratchet. And they had polished that forge line and chrome plated the ratchet. And they had to, I would assume that they would have saw that if they had any kind of quality control, especially with this being a modern day Taiwan made ratchet. But you know, you can have crap come out of anywhere. So, but anyway, I sent that other one back to Amazon. I got that other one like within a day, and I sent that back, and like the day after I dropped the first one off, this one showed up. This, just like the 3/8 version, it has this knurling on it, and at least of the two that I have, this knurling feels really grippy. You know, it's kind of comparable to the old school USA made ratchets, vintage ratchets. So there actually is some grip to those two knurled portions of it there, even though they're a little inset lower than the outer diameter of this grip diameter there. But this obviously has some lube or something in it. I can see it shining up my fingers, and I can see it kind of weeping out of there a little bit. See some on the back there. But I'll try to put a picture of what that first one looked like, and you guys can, you know, kind of compare it to this one. But we'll look at the ball detent crimping looks really good and centered on it. They did a good job on that. It is a machined anvil. Doesn't seem like it has hardly any back drag. It's got some slop in it though. It's not horrible, but a lot of these thin plated, back plated ratchets do. I'll try to get this snap ring out of here and come back to you. Well, that snap ring was a little fiddly to get it out of there. It seemed like I really had to kind of wedge the snap ring pliers to get it out of there. These two ends were touching, and it still wasn't collapsed enough to get out of there. So the groove diameter inside of the head of this for the snap ring may be a little undersized. We'll pull this cover off and take a look at it. Well, the cover is going to come out with the anvil, I guess. Really thin backplate cover, which is typical of this style design. Looks like the pawl has a 90 on it for the 90 tooth designation. Let me get it out of here and we'll count the teeth real quick. I can't do it on camera, it's so small. It's not, the pawl is definitely not as small as the anvils on my Craftsman micro heads. Those things are super tiny. It looks like there's 20 teeth on this guy here. Nothing on the back side. It looks like it could be reversible, but you know, when you take these things apart, just try to be real careful about what you see on the front side of that anvil. If there's markings on it, you want to memorize that and put it back the same way. No, it doesn't look like it's reversible. So that see, there's a groove kind of cut there for the switch to ride in. So there you go. That's kind of my old habit from when I was a kid, is just trying to remember what this thing said before I took these things out. Or I wouldn't say kid, you know, in my 20s when I started collecting tools. This has an O-ring on this side of the anvil, and we'll have to get the, if it's made anything like the 3/8 version, we'll have to get this detent out of here. This detent is a little bit bigger than what I would imagine for a 1/4-inch ratchet of this size. Well, let me kick this. There's another detent that I don't want to spit out underneath the bottom of the switch. So there's going to be a detent and a spring under here, similar to the older ratchet, Craftsman ratchets, but we'll kind of flip it around. Well, it stayed in there anyway, but we'll look at that switch. So it does have an O-ring on it, so that's cool. Like that. So basically it's just a small version of the 3/8 that fit back in there pretty nicely. That detent down in the bottom, even though it stayed in, it is working. I can feel a definite switch on it. Get that guy back in, trying to look through the camera. I'm surprised I could ever do it. Now that I'm talking about it, I can't. There we go. So this does have that same red grease, light grease in there. Or it may be just a real high viscosity red oil. The machining looks pretty good in there. I think these streaks are just from me pulling the anvil out. Yeah, that's just oil that's rode up the wall there. It does have a few machine marks in the bore for that selector switch. It's not bad. Pretty small ratchet. It's kind of hard to leave or not have machine marks and stuff unless you're spinning that tooling a million miles an hour. We'll get this guy back in here. Try to get it on camera. We'll put that 90 facing up there, just like it was before we took it out. Get our anvil back in there. I'm not going to put any more lube on there. There's enough on the gear diameter of the anvil. This has a gold dot on the back side of it. I don't know what's going on with that. A little white dot or something on the back side of that plate. But it was facing down, so that's the way we're going to put it back. Try to put this snap ring back in here. It was a little fiddly. Like I said, trying to get it out of there. I might have to kind of force it down. Yep. That ring diameter is a little undersized or something on it. I'll just try to center this guy back up. There we go. Good enough. All right, put a socket on it. We'll try to see what the back drag looks like rather. Let me zoom out. Not bad for a brand new ratchet. A little bit that way, but that may be just me jerking it. Now, that's good. I don't think I'm going to get the 1/2-inch version of this style of ratchet. I think I'll just stick with these two for the collection. And it doesn't really have anything to do with that first one being messed up, but there's all sorts of cool vintage and newer ratchets coming out that I'd like to get a look at. Trying to get it to focus on that knurling a little bit. Oh, forgot to zoom back in. Now it'll probably work really good. How's that? I'm still new at this. No complaining. Yeah, fit and finish on it looks pretty good. I'd say this is, on par with that First Info set of ratchets that I got a while back. I really like that set. I've used the 3/8 and a 1/4 inch on that quite a bit. Just working on projects. I got 4 motorcycles that I ride in the summer, and I've just been doing a lot of maintenance on those. I think I put a battery in my wife's little car. She had that first real bad cold snap we got, and I used that First Info on that. But anyway, it's a good looking little ratchet. I mean, it does have some shipping scratches in it where it kind of vibrated around in the box. The first 1/4 inch version, or 1/4 inch ratchet that I got that was messed up, Amazon had just shipped that in just one of their shipping envelopes, but this one came in a huge box, and it had brown packing material all in it. It did not have the plastic over it like the last one, but it did have the little clips were still on it. I cut these off to get it out so we could look at it. But alright, I'm trying to make these videos shorter, but I certainly want to try to cover all the bases on it, because I know some of these guys like collecting these too, and they kind of want to see them before they buy them. But everything looks pretty good on this one, save for that logo being a little off center on it. But I think I'll stick to just the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch version of this. Unless I see the 1/2 inch version one come down on price with a coupon or something. Alright guys, have a good week.